Well, this video is going to be a bit of an experiment. There's lots of things I want to talk about, but I don't necessarily want to dedicate an entire video to, so I figured I'd do these weekly roundups and talk about things that normally wouldn't make it into a video. So yes, this means a regular release cycle for these types of videos. I'm thinking either Sunday or Monday, so we shall see. So with that out of the way, let's get this shit show on the road. Welcome back, Pixel Nation. Comics Division here. How the hell are you? Now, the first order of business is I want to get some housekeeping out of the way. So I've been asked by some people why I haven't been doing live streams lately. Simply put, because I don't feel like doing it. I don't know, sometimes I get these moods and I just don't feel like doing something, and that's kind of the case with live streaming at the moment. I have these weird cycles when it comes to creativity. I'll feel like doing something 1 week or for a month, and then suddenly I just don't want to do it anymore. It's really kind of random, and I guess it's a part of my chaotic nature at times. Plus, I just really haven't had any topics I want to do a live stream on. Lately, a lot of my focus has been on trying to go and grow the channel, and the best way of doing that is to simply put out content. Now, daily content is something I'm probably never going to be able to do, so I am going to try and release as frequently as possible, so we'll see. I've kind of set a personal goal of trying to reach 5,000 subs by the end of the year. It's probably not realistic, but you have to start somewhere. So if you enjoy my content, make sure to go and share it on social media as well as with your friends, provided that they would enjoy something like this. With that nonsense out of the way, let's go and get into the first topic. Now, the first article we're going to talk about is technically from the previous week, but it's something I wanted to talk about anyway. Captain Marvel breaks bad. Really bad. As in, this is a terrible idea. I mean, come on. She's already practically a supervillain. This is pretty much business as usual. In the event Civil War II, she was acting like the thought police right out of Minority Report. She was using an Inhuman who could see the future. At least they thought it was the future. I honestly have no idea what he was actually seeing. It could have been parallel universes, it could have been alternate futures. Nobody fucking knows. And honestly, I don't fucking care. And she was using this to go and justify arresting or taking people out. This included things like having a woman arrested for being Hydra, despite the fact there was absolutely no proof, being partially responsible for the murder of Bruce Banner, almost having Miles Morales murdered because she thought he was going to kill Captain America, and finally, putting Tony Stark in a coma at the conclusion of Civil War II. And all these things happen in one single event. Though I do have to admit, I think the costume does look pretty cool. This seems more like a desperate plea to try and make this character more interesting, but she's really not. In November, one of Earth's mightiest heroes breaks bad when the world is introduced to Dark Captain Marvel, the last Avenger. In Captain Marvel number 12, writer Kelly Thompson is joined by artist Lee Garbett to show fans what happens when Carol Danvers takes a bad turn and goes head to head with her former Avengers teammates. Yeah, that's called Civil War II. Just throwing that out there. As Kelly continues her daring and defining run on Captain Marvel, where she desperately tries to make a boring and unlikable character entertaining, in this new arc, The Last Avenger, she pushes the boundaries no one really cared to ask by taking Carol in a dark and deadly new direction, which she's already gone before. Marvel Comics editor-in-chief CB Cebulski told CBR, "Yeah bro, it's cool. Sama Amanad's gonna be running the place in a couple years anyway, so fuck it. And in case you're curious, this is what the cover looks like. Nothing to see here. Move along, move along." But wait, there's more Captain Marvel news. Just when you thought it was all over with. Oh, and this next article is coming from the Mary Sue, so yeah, that makes it extra special. Brie Larson posted a picture with Thor's hammer, and of course, men are crying about it. And of course, the Mary Sue has to write an article about it. And of course, that means I have to do a video about it. Oh no, mean mids have opinions on the internets. Anyway, here's the picture in question. The caption reads, "Not to be whatever, but told you I could lift it." I'll be honest with you, my opinion's a little biased here, so take it for what it's worth, but her expression is about as smug as her caption. And I wouldn't put this past Brie Larson. I'm sure in some small way she did this to try and trigger fanboys. I personally don't care. The only reason why I'm talking about it is because the Mary Sue went out of their way to write an article about it. Sometimes you just have to dumpster dive.
Brie Larson went to Marvel Studios and took a cute picture with Mjolnir. And as you probably guess, all the dude bros in the darkness of the internet are yelling at her in the comments on it. Because they're mad that actress Brie Larson posted a picture holding Thor's hammer with a cute caption.
I don't know about you, but that doesn't exactly match up with my definition of cute. Here, let me go and reread that again. Not to be whatever, but I told you I could lift it. Either she's doing her best Valley Girl impersonation, or she really is trying to troll a reaction out of fanboys. Now this next paragraph is actually pretty fucking hilarious.
To be clear, we're not talking about Carol Danvers. This isn't like Captain America's worthiness in Avengers Endgame. Marvel isn't going to have Captain Marvel wielding Mjolnir alongside Jane Foster or anything. Brie Larson, the actual human woman, just took a cute picture with a movie prop from a franchise she's involved in.
Thanks, Captain Obvious. I had absolutely no idea that Brie Larson was a real human woman. I really thought she was Carol Danvers. But considering the MCU has had two other people, other than Thor, pick up the hammer, I wouldn't put it past them that Captain Marvel could pick it up as well. And to be clear, this has absolutely nothing to do with strength, because the Hulk, who is a unlimited fountain of strength, the madder he gets, can't pick it up either. And I think that's mainly what people are complaining about. I didn't read the comments. I honestly don't fucking care. Anyway, enough of this nonsense. On to the next one. This next article comes from Bounding into Comics. Marvel removes essay by Mark Waid criticizing America from Marvel Comics 1000. Mark Waid, who is at one point in time well known for writing comic books, is more well known for writing unhinged rants on social media. Several years ago, Marvel decided to go and get woke and subsequently lost a lot of fans and went broke. Things got so bad they fired editor-in-chief Axel Alonso and replaced him with CB Cebulski. And for the most part, he's been trying to make things rather apolitical. Kind of. That asshat, Ta-Nehisi Coates, is still writing Captain America. And I still get the feeling that Sam Amanat at some point is going to become editor-in-chief, which is just bad. Recently over at DC, Action Comics and Detective Comics hit issue 1000, and Marvel Comics, feeling a bit left out, went and invented Marvel Comics 1000. It's nothing more than a $10 anthology book, which is too much for a fucking comic book. So Mark Waid goes and pins this essay, and it turns out to be very anti-American, which is a really stupid thing to do when you're charging $10 for a book to try and get people to read comics again. So they made him change it. So you ready for this one, folks? Because it's a doozy. Now, I don't feel like giving myself brain cancer, so I'm not gonna read everything. I'm just gonna provide screen caps with my interpretation of what he said. And if you want to go and read the full article, I'll have a link in the description. I hate America because it's not perfect. Never mind the fact that no country is perfect. Sometimes people treat other people like shit, and it sucks. So I'm just gonna blame America and everything it stands for. I don't believe in the American dream because not everybody can achieve it, because life isn't fair. The ideals of America are bullshit because not everybody can achieve them, because they're ideals. Despite the fact I just said American ideals are bullshit, they're actually a good thing. I'm a crazy person, and I'm just gonna go and contradict myself. I'm an unrealistic socialist. The more government there is, the better. When you find things you don't like, take to the streets like Antifa and start the riot. Oh, and while you're at it, go grab a bike lock and start bashing some skulls. So Marvel Comics was like, yeah, we're not fucking printing this. You should go and rewrite that, Mark. And this is what he came up with. And again, I'll be providing Mark Waid's translation. Masks are designed to hide things, much like my hatred for America. Marvel wouldn't publish my original essay, so instead, I'm just gonna talk about Captain America. It's a commitment to fight every day for justice, Orange Man bad, for acceptance and equality, Orange Man bad, and for the rights of everyone in this nation, Orange Man bad. At its best, Orange Man bad, this country is filled with people who recognize that those, Orange Man bad, not hatred, Orange Man bad, not bigotry, Orange Man bad, not exclusion, Orange Man bad, are the values of true patriotism, Orange Man bad. Something, something Captain America, something, something Orange Man bad, something, something, I just don't care. I'm also going to provide a link to the video that just some guy did about Mark Waid's essay. It's actually pretty fucking hilarious, and I recommend you go check it out. This next article comes from IO9. They're basically doubling down, saying that Marvel should not be apolitical and that they should have gone and published Mark Waid's essay. Marvel Comics is doubling down on its misguided crusade to remain apolitical, and it's using Captain America to do it. Updated. And the only update they made to the article was including Mark Waid's original essay. I find this article kind of amusing because the shill media finds it just completely absurd to remain apolitical in 2019. So much, in fact, that they even pointed it out in the article. Kind of mind-blowing if you think about it, but maybe it's not because it's 2019. Marvel Comics editor-in-chief CB Cebulski did not respond to IO9's request for comment, but some close to Marvel told us the reason Waid's essay was changed was that the anniversary collection was designed to be a celebration of the publisher's history. They added that the team thought Waid's original essay felt out of place, while mentioning that the first draft of the collection wasn't for publication and that each essay was meant to be from a Marvel character's point of view. They didn't comment on whether the essay's political message factored into the decision. I'm willing to wager that it was removed because it was political. We also reached out to Waid for comment. He has yet to reply, but in a statement to Newsarama, he called the framing of the change a misrepresentation of events. The only comment I will offer is that the abridged version was being circulated by news outlets, severely mischaracterizing what was actually written, Waid said. I always find it funny how Mark Waid tends to play the victim, saying that he's constantly being misrepresented when people are often quoting what he said or what he wrote, and it's usually interpreted as a call to violence in some form or fashion. All you have to do is go and read the essay and draw your own conclusions. The situation with Marvel Comics 1000 essay appears to be another example of Marvel Comics censoring its creators in an attempt to be apolitical, to the detriment of the company and its audience. Really, you think being apolitical is a detriment to the audience? When SJW Marvel got political, the fans started the riot, and they stopped buying the books. And if you think that actual comic fans want this, you're lying to yourself. Yes, clearly it's a detriment to go and write comics that have broad appeal. Go figure. The only people who want everything to be political are shill websites like Gizmodo, IO9, and the Mary Sue. Everybody else just wants escapism entertainment. Why is that so difficult to understand? You may recall CB Cebulski going on the record on the subject almost 1 year to the day. We can't get too deep into politics, he said of Marvel storylines. Let me put it this way. CB Cebulski was hired to right the ship and to fix Axel Alonso's mess. After all, it was under him where Marvel went and got SJW. So if the SJW politics were a success, then why would they go and do an about-face? Because it wasn't, that's why. Trying to remain apolitical is an effort in futility in 2019. It sure feels that way sometimes. Art is inherently political. Not always. Art can be a lot of different things. Yes, it can be political. It can also be provocative, entertaining, and fun. Something that I think SJWs don't know how to do. Saying you're not political serves to uphold the status quo and hold back diverse voices who might open up the audience's perspective to other points of view. Sometimes there's nothing wrong with the status quo. It's not like every system needs to be torn down or changed. Here's a controversial opinion. Sometimes things are just fine the way they are. Now, I've talked about this before, but it's fine not to have an opinion on everything. I'm not saying don't be empathetic, but don't make everybody's problems your own. And just because it's someone else's cause doesn't mean you need to make it yours. And if you want to get more diverse voices, the easiest way of doing that is to not create garbage. Like, for example, how America isn't perfect, and how fighting injustice is the American way. That is true. Fighting injustice is the American way. But there's a difference between injustice and perceived injustice. Insulating your audience from the larger problems of the world. Whoa, 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 whoa. If I didn't want to insulate myself from the larger problems of the world, I would read the fucking news. Newsflash, IO9, that's the point of escapism. I read comics to get away from the real world, not to be beat over the head with it. So remember folks, the very act of going to the toilet and taking a shit is a political one, because everything's political. I'm fucking done with this article. The next article comes from Cosmic Book News and is about Falcon and the Winter Soldier. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, worse than thought. Playing the race card. That's it. I'm done. Good night, folks. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button. And if you didn't, well, thanks for watching anyway. If you want to see more of my crappy content and shitty opinions, make sure to subscribe. Bash that bell for notifications. I've heard it occasionally works. And I want to give a huge shout out to those of you who support me on Subscribestar. Thank you very much. You guys are awesome.